finally, a source of raw, real, and honest information on healthcare issues that matter most. Welcome to BS Free MD. From the latest medical information to how to stay sane as a doctor or a patient, no subject is taboo, no BS is allowed. Now, let's welcome your hosts, Doctors May and Tim Hindmarsh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Truth Bomb episode on BS Free MD with your hosts, May Hindmarsh and Dr. Awesome, who is joining us today from the middle of the country. And that's his name that's popping up there. We are taking separate vacations. Well, he's taking a vacation. I'm not. And he's here to share with us his thoughts, truths, and facts on fun. What say you, Tim?
Yeah, well, I thought that you were on permanent vacation, but that's a different story. So,
as I paint the house, permanent vacation.
Permanent vacation. It's like you retire from medicine and you've never been busier. I get that. So I was thinking about this today, and it really blew my mind because we had a really great day skiing, and I love skiing. I mean, I've been skiing since 1972, so that's like 52 years. And
that's older than you are, right? I thought you were 29.
Yeah, sure. Something like that. So the thing that really gets me is that, we have the 4 F's, faith, family, finances, and fun.
And a few more.
Yeah, like fitness. The other F, that's fun. But that's besides the point. So here's the thing that's really interesting to me, and it really hit me, is we tend to dismiss fun, or we worship it. It doesn't ever get in its right place. So it's either I'm going to live for these hedonistic pleasures and I'm going to do whatever I can to have as much fun as I can. You only live once and life is short, play hard, all this kind of bullshit. And you sit there and I go, no, it has a very specific place. And it hit me today because when I'm skiing and the day's going well and I can see and I'm with, friends, I sit there and I go, this makes me feel alive. And I said, okay, what is the concept of this makes me feel alive? The concept is it's nourishing my soul. So real fun is nutrition, is soul nutrition. And we don't think of it that way. And it really struck me. I mean, it was almost kind of humbling. Real fun is soul nutrition. And it harkens back to Christ, who said, what does it profit a man if he inherits the entire world and forfeits his soul? So if you work your whole life for money, because someday I'm going to retire, someday I'm going to enjoy it, and you don't ever do that, you have forfeited what is 100% more valuable than any resource you can acquire and your very own body. It is your soul. It is the most valuable thing ever. And we listen to all these guys talk about how their longevity and health span and whatever, and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, what about your soul? And fun, real fun, balanced fun is soul nutrition. And we are absolutely starving to death for that in modern society. You can be a multi-billionaire with the skinniest soul in the world. And it just absolutely hit me. What are you doing that makes you feel alive? Because what makes you feel alive is soul nutrition. And we need way more of
that. Amen to that. Couldn't agree more. And so here's a thought is, I think people sometimes think that fun gets mixed up with like big package things. And it can be big package things like a cruise or like a big vacation, or a getaway trip like you're doing, or like something big like that, like totally separate. And while, yes, those are definitely big fun things, there's so many small fun things that we can glean every day. And so this is going to be like the opposite end, where sometimes menial tasks aren't just menial tasks, but they're actually fun. So for instance, gardening and pulling weeds, that feeds my soul. Sometimes it doesn't, but I love gardening. I like going outside. It's something that has to get done. And just the connecting with the ground, gardening, people that like to garden would understand what that means to me. Just being in the air, the the sunlight, the ground touching my hands, the whole thing feeds my soul. But it's a task. And same with cooking or baking, or some guys are into carpentry, or you working on your car. So sometimes things are, it crosses over because it's like my battery died in my car. Well, that's no fun, even though you like fixing stuff. But there's times in life when it's small. It's like I can still do this task and like it fills me and I have fun. And so I guess maybe sometimes we need to look more for the fun in the small things than the big things, because it's so easy to say, well, I'm not getting the big trip or the big vacation or the big night out with the friends, therefore I'm not having any fun. But fun can be had even in the small things.
No, I couldn't agree more, because what it centers around for me is what makes you feel alive.
Right.
So if I can run, especially if I can run with the sun rising, that makes me feel alive. Do that. And who was it? It was Mark Eldridge, I think, was the author, who talked about how God doesn't need more people doing things for him. He needs more people that are alive.
Right. And I'm really, that has hit me really in the last year with retiring from medicine. And we talked about this a lot, and I shared a bit even in writing the Truth Serum on the podcast. But like, who am I outside of a career that I pulled the plug on after 30 years? And that was my whole life from when I was in high school, right? It's God doesn't need me to try to do something, but he needs me as a human who really has something to offer everybody else. And you can't do that without nourishing your soul, and fun is part of it.
No, totally. I mean, it's the super old cliche, which is, the world, your neighbors, God does not need human beings or human doings. He needs human beings. And we lose track of that, because, if you own a business, if you work, you're by definition, you're putting on hold, you're trading time for money. Okay. Like anything you get paid for, you're trading time for money. Like you go to work, you get paid by the hour. You are a creative and you are a fabulously wealthy producer or entertainer. You're still trading time for money. And so, in Oprah's world,
Work would be fun.
Work is fun. Well, no, for the 99.9% of the world, work is trading time for money. Like you're trading literally your life, your soul, to a certain degree, for money. And I don't think that's wrong. I think that's what makes the world work. I think that's why we have like porta potties that are clean, because somebody said, I will empty human shit for money.
For fun.
And so, but at the same time, you have to balance that against, I will take that trade and I will still nourish my soul. And I think that we have bought into the lie in consumerism that you can continue to buy more, own more, reach. It's always the next thing. Well, it's not the next thing. It's now. Now's the next thing. And so times like this where I get away and I do something where I don't have to think about it. I'm a good enough skier where I don't have to like worry about whether I'm going to get down the hill, and I can completely lose myself temporarily in the experience. If you can lose yourself in something and enjoy it, that is absolute steak from a nourishment perspective for your soul. And that is my encouragement. It's like, what do you do that makes you feel alive? And, what is it? Because everybody has it. And if you don't know what it is, you better find it, because that is the secret sauce. You don't even have to do it that much. It's not like sleeping where you have to do it, 8 hours every day. But man, if you can do it 2 or 3 times a week, even, that will change your life more than any vitamin, than exercise, than diet, than all of this stuff that we have talked about. That soul nourishment is way, way more important than almost anything else. Like, so what? So if you're Brian Johnson, who does all of this stuff and spends $2 million on longevity and never nourishes his soul, what does he gain? He's gained nothing. He's gained an old life where he's lived a long time and self-deprecated himself for a false idol. That's
Right.
what
Yeah. And, sharing a little bit more personally, and you know this obviously very well. But when all the things that do give you joy and pleasure and what your fun is start to be taken away for various reasons, in my situation, it's been difficult because of my issues with my health this year, as well as the big move, things that, physically were fun for me, which is some of the sports I do have been challenging. Being close to friends, that was fun, or just having the outlet of the hiking, the woods, things in our yard gone. And just, it's really made me, it's God pulled all those, I call them safety nets, but all those things that were my go-to for my soul are gone. Now, that's been a big struggle for me with my mental health, but it also makes me go, okay, I still can do things. Now, what can I do? And look for joy in that. And now I can create new outlets and look for new things to do. And there's times in life where those things that gave us the most joy do get taken away. And we really have to go out on a limb and do hard things and push ourselves, even when we don't want to find that new fun. And so for all those people that have been in the boat that I have been in this last year, where the fun outlets are disappearing for various reasons, your health or circumstances change, financial reasons change, whatever it is, when those get pulled away, it can feel, you really realize how important it is to have those things that feed your soul, but you can find new things. And I just listened to this amazing podcast episode yesterday with David Goggins. I've never listened to his stuff before. I haven't read his books. I saw some of his reels. Our son loves his and listens to his stuff.
Stay hard, motherfucker.
But and this is going on down a different path. But he was pretty chill, and he was just talking about the importance of doing new things, hard things, things you don't want to do, but also fun things. So that was really good to hear him talk. It was food for my soul. But back to feeding your soul, whoever you are out there. Don't forget, don't neglect it. It really is what makes you who you are, and what brings more to the relationship that you're in as well when you nourish your soul. What are you going to say?
But you know what? Every single thing that's been the most life-giving to me, as far as I feel alive doing, at some point sucked. Learning to ski sucked. Learning to windsurf sucked. Learning to kite sucked. Everything sucked until it didn't. And the fact is, yes, the reason it's the most nourishing is because you had to struggle to get there. So when you can't, there will be a day when I can never ski again. That's just life. It doesn't matter what you do, what vitamin you take. There will be a day. There will be a day when I never ride a motorcycle again. There will be all of those days are coming. But you know what? There's always something else, and it will probably suck when you start, and then it will be amazing. And you have to have enough faith to let the stuff that sucks become amazing.
Yeah. So work on the sucky things while you're enjoying things you still can.
Exactly.
So your soul stays in balance. And no, that was really, really good. Really fresh perspective. I'm glad we talked about that, because that's something that where people just, it's American society, put your head down and go, and we forget the importance of how fun really helps develop our spirit, our soul, our character. And it makes it more fun to be around when someone's
You think?
fed. Exactly. All right, everybody. So I hope you are out there finding your fun factor this week. Send us a little note, a message, an email, and let us know what you do for fun. Until next time, bombs away.
It's no secret that medicine is a bit, uptight. That's why Tim and I created BS Free MD, to mix things up a little and have fun in the process. Besides, we are having these exact same discussions all the time, so we thought we might as well invite everyone to the party. If you really like us, you can get plenty more and maybe see one of Tim's cool tattoos on our Instagram or Facebook pages at BS Free MD. See you next time.
While we try to keep BS Free MD as raw and real as possible, we can't be held responsible for any medical decisions or discussions had as a result of what you've heard on the show. We know, bummer. But the truth is, we really do care about your questions. So feel free to reach out to us by email at doc@bsfreemd.com.